We're starting off high.
We can get
I think
two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
there was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
no, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust human to raise back wolves?
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my... Wait a minute, where is he? Here with my main man, Clifford Sleepy Time Jennings. For those of you that are unaware, Cliff required a personal wake-up call to make it to the show today.
Man, listen.
That alarm not going off is bitch.
They sent me up today.
Now the question is, did it go off or did you put it for AM instead of PM?
Nah, I set the same time every week.
Intriguing. The AI
Yeah,
gods.
it's at the same time. I don't know.
This is what happens when you anger the AI gods, Cliff.
Clearly. Fuck y'all.
And they're like, well, see
Fuck
if you
y'all AI.
see if you wake up next time.
Fuck Siri. Fuck
Siri.
Google. Fuck Jeeves.
Fuck Alexa. No, we like Alexa. Just kidding, Alexa.
Listen, fuck Alexa.
I'm glad she can't hear you.
She'd be like 50 Cent. What you said fuck me for?
Oh, man. Well, another week.
Uh-huh.
And I did hold true on my vow not to watch the Super Bowl. I didn't watch a single fucking second of it. It wasn't even on in the airport. I will tell you,
It was a dragging.
as my first flight got into Dallas, they said it was like 32-12, and I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, Philadelphia's up. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was 24-0 at halftime.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It was a dragon. It wasn't. I didn't mind seeing it.
I mean, since both teams couldn't lose, I'm glad the lesser of two evils lost, or lesser of two evils won, but whatever. I'm curious to see what the ratings were on it. And was
Who knows?
Was it one of the lowest rated
higher,
Super Bowls?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I don't really keep
it
track
doesn't
of all
really
that
matter,
shit anyway. Mhm.
In fact, the only thing I've seen from the Super Bowl all week, what do you think it was?
Only thing from the Super Bowl all week.
Like every third fucking reel, even the NFL's TikTok account.
No, I have no idea what. Jalen Hurts ain't going to the Super Bowl?
Nope. Mm-mm.
What?
Hey,
I
Drake,
said the Super Bowl,
I heard
meant
you like him
Disney
young.
World.
Better not ever go to Cell
right.
Block 1.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
he really going to do it? Is he really going to do it?
I mean,
and the whole stadium going, A minor.
You knew they was hitting that line.
Oh man.
You know that line was getting hit.
I mean that whole performance looked solid. That's really the only thing I've seen from the Super Bowl is Drake's performance.
You mean Kendrick's?
Or sorry, yeah, Kendrick's performance, and it
Although
wasn't
one
even.
can say by now,
It's who was it? Was it Serena?
uh-huh.
Getting all the old white ladies to think that it's appropriate to sea walk. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did a little back in the day, but or attempted to, my version of it.
I think they called that a heel toe.
That's the red G walk. That's what it was. But yeah, man, that's the only thing I really saw from the Super Bowl. Not even any like commercials popped up in terms of being hilarious or funny. Were there any good commercials? I'm sure you guys talked about it on the post-game show.
No, not really. Not the commercials. There wasn't. I mean, yeah, no. There's nothing that immediately comes to mind.
And I heard there were only like 4 movie teaser trailers, like the new Mission Impossible,
I saw that.
Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four.
What's Thunderbolts?
And the new Jurassic World. Thunderbolts is the new Marvel, one of the new Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see any of those. Any of those movies?
No.
Oh, I did. I mean, I saw the Mission Impossible
trailer,
teaser, or whatever that was, but I didn't see no Jurassic, or I probably just ignored the other two. What is Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts is kind of like the Marvel version of Suicide Squad. That already.
Yeah, see, that's all interested I am in any of that.
No, I mean, I get it
twice.
Honestly, I think that seeing the trailer, like, I like what they're trying to do with it, but I'm getting to the point where I don't care about the Marvel shit anymore. Like, I may go take Andrew to go see the new Captain America just so that we can get out of the house tomorrow because it's supposed to be cold and rainy, but other than that...
That's the one with Falcon Wing or whatever his name is?
Yep, Anthony Mackie.
Is that his name, Falcon Wing?
Falcon.
Oh.
Well, it's Captain America now, motherfucker.
And nigga, regardless, they still gonna look at you as Falcon Wing.
I like how you're adding wing to it. But no, wing is not part of the name. It's just Falcon.
He's just the wing. Oh shit, that's funny as hell.
Oh man.
Now he Captain America Wing.
I was also bummed that I was down in Houston and couldn't get together with Gordon, but I was in fucking meetings from
where are you?
8 to 8. Yeah. It was rough.
Fucking meetings.
Terrible what they did.
From 8 to 8, you was only there for a day?
I was there for 3 days, and all 3 days it was the same thing.
Oh, that's crazy.
Good stuff, but just long days. So, you got anything inadvertent to get us going?
Shit. I'm still trying to wake up, to be honest. I would have to think on it for a second. What was my inadvertent? What was I thinking about beforehand? I don't know off top.
All right. Well,
yeah, come back to me. We'll see if I can remember.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if I had any solid ones. I had one early in the week, and I thought I wrote it down, but I'm not seeing it. So, you know, we're off to a batting 1,000 here to start the show.
Listen, yeah, no, I thought it was coming back to me. I couldn't seem to wrangle that one in. All
right. Well, we could jump into one of the topics for this evening, and I think you'll appreciate this. So, because this is a throwback topic from the early days of the show.
Uh-oh.
But Pornhub
I love when the conversation starts off with Pornhub. You just know it's going.
So actually, one of these is my inadvertent thought. Now that I remember it, and the other one is a list that Pornhub has published regarding the top pre-Valentine's Day searches by state.
Pre-Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Well, you know, it came out. The article came out on Valentine's Day.
So but that's what they named it.
Yep.
Pre-Valentine's
top
Day.
Pre-Valentine's Day searches by state.
But why would they do that? Are they going to release a Valentine's Day?
You know, maybe they will.
Valentine's Day list?
Maybe they will, sir. Maybe they will. But, so the reason why it was my inadvertent thought, I mentioned that I was out of town for 3 days. Fun fact, Pornhub is blocked in Texas without ID verification.
Without ID verification.
It is one of 17 states right now that is trying to pass legislation that basically says you have to fork over a driver's license to view porn on the internet.
So how does
Which,
that
by
work?
the way, I did not. But
you should have just called the hotel and said, "Don't y'all got them ones?"
Right. Man, I can't bill a $50 porno to my fucking hotel room that's being paid for by
we
work.
got a creep in room 204.
Have you ever seen?
Be careful with his bed sheets. Make sure he's not in the room when you clean it.
Have you ever seen the excerpt of that scene that's like husband and wife checking out of the hotel, and the person at the counter is basically like, yes, that'll be $339 for the room, and looks like you have 2 movies charged here. And the husband obviously tries to work past that really quickly, like, yep, here's my card, go ahead. And the wife says, no. We only saw 1 movie. And she's like, so what were the 2 movies? And it's like Backdoor Sluts 9 and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And the wife starts flipping out. She's like, I can't believe you're such a fucking nerd that you watched Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts on states trying to pass laws like that are requiring you to provide photo ID, government ID, in order to look at porn sites, Mr. Jennings?
I mean, I'm not against verifying age.
The thing is,
I just don't know what that means exactly. Like, what do you mean? Like motherfuckers gotta scan the back of their ID card to
basically
access the site type shit. Like,
but I also don't want to upload my ID to have to do that. Like, Pornhub's argument to it is that anybody can grab an ID and fake that. It's actually harder when your device is your ID and they're verifying it against every other database that your device has hit over time. Which I actually think is true. I actually think.
Wait, what now?
Your device. So the device ID with the phone, like the phone's MAC address, basically, is just as reliable as forcing somebody to show an ID card to a camera and upload it. Because you can't verify between the picture and the face. It's harder to do that than it is to just say, hey, we've seen this device on 32 other porn sites, plus they have a bank account, plus they have X, Y, and
put
Z.
an alarm system on our Wi-Fi back like when we was kids and just be done with this shit?
What do you mean?
You know, if any time your kid was trying to watch porn, you heard, you know what I'm saying? Then It's like at that
Are
point.
you talking about the sound that dial-up made, Cliff?
Yeah, put an alarm system back on the motherfucking computer, and then let's think about it logically. Like, okay, I don't know how long your kids have to themselves, but by the time you start booting the computer up, I guarantee you're halfway home by the time that little motherfucker got to the website. Let alone the click that it took to download speed. Where it would just slowly reveal.
I think you're talking about our youth, Cliff, not the youth of today,
right,
who could be online in 30 seconds and have a full porn video, 30-minute video loaded up.
Maybe. Well, no, because then you got 5 minutes of ads. You got to skip ads.
Did you know Brazzers is now free?
Oh, shit. Oh my gosh! Well, maybe they need to bring it back, slow it down, bring it back to the.
Bring back dial-up. Is that what you're saying? Fuck that. That is the worst idea I think you've ever
Only
had.
for the kids' phones. Track our IP addresses. Or Mac or whatever.
That was the first time. That was the first time I've run into that
funny.
where I got the. Allegedly got the error message that said, "Hey, your state legislators in Texas want you to have to use your ID to be able to log on to our site." Now, I will tell you,
this nigga went immediately to a VPN website. He was like,
"What? Look at you! You're jumping ahead. Let me tell my story." Now, I will tell you. Pornhub was the only site that was blocked. No other site was blocked.
Right.
XNXX was just fine. X-Hamster was just fine. RedTube was just fine.
This nigga started writing code in Google and get his.
I'm sure if I had used my ExpressVPN, if they would sponsor the show, that would have gotten me in as well. But
oh my gosh, that is hilarious. You got my chest hurting and my eyes watering.
All right, so that was my inadvertent thought thanks to Pornhub. So Pornhub,
do better or dial up.
Do dial up?
Dial
no.
Listen, if you on the bus, in your room, wherever, and your phone start making that noise. If you thought the COVID no mask looks was bad, wait till they look at you and they hear. They gonna be like, "What the fuck is this creep next to me on the bus watching?"
All right, so name me a state, Cliff.
Any of them?
I mean, until I tell you that it's one of the states that has legislation out because they did not publish those sites.
We know those are the worst. Go to Utah. I know they ain't on it.
Utah is one of the 17 states.
Yep. Okay, so this is like a Price is Right game. Let me pick the other ones real quick. South Dakota.
South Dakota. The #1 search was dildo.
Okay, they got a whole bunch of kids learning porn in South Dakota. It's amazing that their age average is all the same in South Dakota. And it was a GIF. They weren't even looking up the video.
It was just a GIF. All right, give me another state, sir.
Oh, shit. So I 1X on South Dakota. Now, this isn't the answer, but I was going to say Mississippi because they embarrass themselves every year with their searches.
Unfortunately, Mississippi.
But
also
I know they're
one
on
of the
there. They don't care.
Mississippi, also one of the 17 states.
Oh, it was. Okay, see? Look at me knowing some shit. Oh, my gosh. That is hilarious. We're gonna go somewhere in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. The #1 search in Wisconsin? Dirty talk.
Man, I don't think that any of this is real. I think that they just shuffle up each year.
What's interesting, that's a valid point because none of them have the same search.
Right, Pornhub. I'm telling you, this is a conspiracy, right?
Just let it ride, man. It's a fun topic.
You thinking
What
that
else?
these states are searching this shit? No, the powers that be are giving them these titles. Like, search this shit all year. Or we're gonna put an ID screen on your fucking Pornhub site and go back to dial-up if you don't.
What's your next state?
What's happening?
What's your next state?
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I'm over here crying. I'm over here crying. All right, where were we at?
You've got, by the way, you've got 2 X's. So if you get a third X, we're gonna change the game.
I got 2 X's. Okay, 2 X's. Okay.
So you've picked,
right now we just got.
You picked 2 states that were blocked. Yep, Utah and Mississippi were two of the 17 that are blocked.
Okay, we going Bible Belt. Let's go Virginia.
Virginia also one of the 17 states.
Okay.
So that's game.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're trying to guess the 17?
I was wondering when you said.
All right. So you've picked 2 then.
I only got 2.
Because you said Wisconsin and South Dakota. So then you're still at 2.
Right. Okay. So 2. Okay. Let me see. I would say no. We can go say that. Let's say nope. They're gonna be proud. It's somewhere obvious that shouldn't be obvious, like Florida.
Ding, 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 ding. Florida, also one of the 17.
Yeah, knew that. Okay. Now, it's ironic that Mississippi was in it, and I'm sure their little brothers aren't going to want to embarrass themselves if Mississippi has bowed out the race. And let's go with Kentucky.
Kentucky, also one of the 17 states.
Yep. Yeah, they wasn't going to embarrass themselves if Mississippi wasn't going to embarrass them. Let's go. Just because they have dumb picks every year, I'm sure they just wanted to be done with it. Let's go with Maine.
So, Maine, the #1 search.
Give me a dumb pick.
Swinger.
See, that's what I'm saying. That shit is not real.
So that is your 3 strikes, and we're gonna move on to a different portion of the game.
That is what AI is searching, trying to learn in humans' place in those states, because that shit ain't real. Ain't nobody in Maine searching swinger unless they looking for a club because they lost the fucking spice in their bedroom.
That's fair.
They don't give tutorials on Pornhub, ma'am.
All right. For the state of Washington, what do you think the top search was?
Washington
State, not the District of
Okay,
Columbia.
so we're going out.
We're flipping. We're flipping it now. We're flipping the game. What's the #1 search in Washington?
We are going to go rim job, Alex.
What is it? Rim job?
It's always something dumb.
Survey says.
What was it?
Spanking. So also to do with the ass. Also to do with the ass. See, Cliff, here's the deal, though. You and I are a different level of porn connoisseurs. I think that the average person, maybe some of these are legit.
Those are not. You haven't named a Pornhub search yet, sir.
Here's one for you.
Yet.
What was the #1 search in West Virginia?
Oh.
This is a porn search. I'll give you this one. This one is this one I think has actually been on the list before, so.
Okay, what is that one?
No, sir. You have to take a guess first, and then I'll tell you.
And let's be honest, all of them have been on the list before. They've been shuffling the states.
Sir, play the game.
What you said, West Virginia?
West Virginia. It's a pretty tame one, but it's definitely a porn search.
It's a pretty lame one.
Pretty tame one, but it's definitely a porn search.
uh, 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 West Virginia's is like I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to bow out on that one.
I'm gonna give you a hint. None of them have big black cock. It's the number one.
You ain't about to set me up.
none of them have BBC. Is the number one search.
You said BBC.
I said none of them have BBC. Is the number one search.
You ain't about to get me.
This is how we know this is a lie.
That motherfucker's in West Virginia was searching modestly pale cock. You know, humbly pale.
West Virginia, the number one porn search, MILF.
MILF.
Like I said, pretty tame, but definitely a porn search.
Yeah, you can't convince me that this isn't.
All right. I've got one for you. What's the number one search term in your co-host's home of Indiana?
Wait, the number one
Pornhub search in Indiana. This one's ridiculous.
I feel like we're getting into the steps.
You're never going to guess this one, but take a shot.
Breastfeeding.
No, but strangely not far off. Queef. It is queef. Queefing is the number one.
It's not real. Nobody is doing this. Nobody is doing this. Nobody is trying to get romantic with themselves. You know, like, what is this? Just an ASMR? What is it? What are you looking up, sir? I can't.
Oh, the chat asking about Montana. Montana, also one of the 17 states that is blocked.
Didn't I say Montana?
I don't think so.
I didn't. Oh, that is hilarious. I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it through this. I promise. Y'all are killing me. My eyes are burning from watching.
Here's a sweet one.
The
state of Massachusetts.
The state of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
At least one state search is more like they searched for
they meant to be
knowledge,
on Google.
like education more than they did entertainment. Wait, what was the question? Goodness gracious.
I said Massachusetts has a rather sweet one. What is it?
Boston, a rather sweet one. It's just disguised that way.
They care about their partner.
Consent?
No.
What the fuck are that? I don't get it.
But mutual orgasm.
Okay, I knew it had something to do with something like
orgasm.
That. Mutual orgasm. All right, let me hear.
What about New Hampshire?
That doesn't strike me as Massachusetts.
What about New Hampshire?
New Hampshire?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting into some crazy ones. That's why I'm trying to use my
I'll give you a hint.
These out.
I'll give you a hint on New Hampshire. It's a member of the family.
Right. I knew he was getting into steps. Stepsister.
No.
Stepmother.
No.
Uh-oh. What are we getting? What are we?
Pornhub's number one search in the state of New Hampshire.
Oh.
Grandpa.
Grandpa. What kind of retirement home? Searching. What kind of? Listen. Grandpa.
Let's see. What other good ones are there?
I would have thought the summer birds in Florida. What do they call them? What do you call them? The winter?
The snowbirds.
Yeah, in Florida with it, but they don't care about. It's the reverse.
Okay. New Mexico did take the other half of that equation, Grandma. What about?
That's not. That's how you know it's not true, because it would have been more like Abuela there. Than,
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
What about the frozen tundra of Alaska? What are people searching up there?
Glory hole.
I like where your head's at, but no. Probably because the glory holes up there are made of ice and it's hard to stay hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they walking glory holes. How tight you gotta have your hood? It's cold up there. Yeah, they are.
And actually, Alaska. With the cold, it has me worried about this one.
With the cold, you're worried.
Yes.
I'm trying to get unique with it. I'm trying to get creative. With the cold, you're worried. Well, that would make sense, right? Because they're in the cold, so I'm sure that it has to do something with the fair weather, activity. It has to be like a football season kind of search. It can't be a, basketball season, Joe. This isn't a Winter Olympic search, is what I'm getting at. What did they search in Alaska? It was probably... What are like a sauna or something?
Yeah, almost the word. Not at all what you're talking about. It's enema. I feel like you got a couple of the letters in that.
This is not real. I promise this is not real. See, look, everybody, they just kept releasing this just to, because they like. People get a kick out of the States Pornhub top searches.
It's probably, you're probably right.
Keep all right. The trend alive.
All right. Now they just... What are people who support that team up north? What are they searching in the great state of Michigan?
Anal plug.
The only state that had anal as their top was California. Although there were 2 states with strap-on and pegging as their top search, so I guess that's a different kind of anal.
I'm not going to take any guesses. Oregon.
Oregon? Oregon, a normal term, BDSM.
Okay, but we know what that means, so.
Yep. What do you think Michigan, though? I'll give you a hint on this one. Probably more popular in the 70s than it is now.
Hairy vagina.
Hairy bush. It's cold up there. You got to stay warm.
That real?
Get in that hairy bush.
See, that you would think, now I would immediately go to Alaska, right?
For hairy
that
bush.
Would make more sense for there.
Yeah.
But then you got to think the opposites again, right? Because Alaska wants something that they don't have on a regular, and I don't know how accurate it is, but I heard girls from Alaska's pubic hair goes down to their ankles. Like long johns. No, I'm just dumb. So they probably want no hair, because they're looking at it like she's a soldier. She in sub 0 degree weather, and she still was like, let me get myself together. That's probably what they like there, so that makes sense.
What's the number 1 search in the grand state, the heart of it all, Ohio?
We gotta be something weird. We gotta be like Stepmom.
Much softer, more softcore.
See, because I think we were one of the other years we did this.
You're probably right.
They're just shuffling them. Something dumb then, like breastfeeding or some weird shit like that.
I wouldn't go weird, but not too far off from breastfeeding. Cuddling. Now, who is searching cuddling on Pornhub? I don't know. I can
Cuddling?
I guarantee you I'm not contributing to that total.
Wait, you're saying that that's the answer for Ohio?
Yes. Yes, I am.
That's how. Listen, we have broke the bank. That's how you know this isn't real. This isn't a real thing. I don't know why in Ohio section no goddamn cuddling.
All right, I'm gonna go two more just because they're entertaining me. What about Illinois? Now,
fighting a lion eye.
Your
gangbang.
Your hint here, not a gangbang. Your hint here is that he's a recurring character in pornography.
He's a recurring pornography character. He's infamous, this guy.
Mm-hmm. Usually a bored housewife or husband watching a bored housewife with this person. Might be bringing you a pizza. Might be bringing you a package.
Delivery guy.
He
said, a pizza that might have a hole in it. And you don't want to open the box because there's a dick in there.
It's my dick in a box.
Oh shit!
All right.
I'm gonna die before we get through this today, man. I promise.
All right, this is probably the. Actually, I got two more. The state of Vermont. What do you think the state of Vermont's searching?
Can I get the geography on that, Alex? Is that over by Connecticut and?
Yes, it's New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York, all in that kind of area.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Can I use the... Actually, no, but what I can do is tell you, I would say that this is consistently a fetish that is discussed.
We're talking Vermont?
Yes, Vermont.
And we're still trying to figure it out. And Swingers was already knocked off the list by who?
Swingers was knocked off the list by Maine.
Boston. Oh, no, it was Maine. Okay.
Maine. Massachusetts was mutual orgasm.
And this is a fetish that...
I would say this is a pretty common fetish, yeah.
A common foot.
No. But good guess with that hint. One of the greatest music artists of all time was a big fan of this fetish.
Greatest music artist of all time.
Haters gonna hate, lovers gonna love.
Oh, pee! Peeing!
I don't even want.
Damn!
I wanna
one
piss
of the
on
greatest
you.
of all time.
Trip, trip, trip.
This.
Yes, I do. I pee on you.
That is crazy as hell. All right.
All right. Last one that we're going to cover. The great state of Louisiana.
Louisiana. Witchcraft.
No, but I like that answer.
Horror porn.
Horror porn? Is that what you said? I like that. I like that thought.
Something crazy in Louisiana.
This one is, I'm not going to say crazy, but it's definitely more in the rough or BDSM category.
I don't even know what that means exactly.
So the number one search, it's not breath play. It's not leather. Leather was actually the number one search for Rhode Island.
What did you say first? Breath play? Like
breath.
Holding your hand over somebody's nose? That's a fetish?
Choking somebody.
I don't know if that's so much fetish as that's just like an extra...
Fair. But
you know what I'm saying?
I would
like
put
when
that,
you're scratching a record as a DJ, you don't call this thing doing something else. No, that goes along with it. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of it. So...
Well, this one typically requires use of a tool. Maybe a whip. Maybe cat of nine tails. Maybe a paddle. The answer is flogging.
Fraternity.
Flogging.
Wait, what?
Flogging.
Oh, flogging. Same thing.
Yeah, it's spanking, basically. Just a little rougher.
Same thing. You know?
I do have to say, Michigan is my favorite with Harry Bush. So that was the Pornhub game. I figured, we hadn't talked about Pornhub on the show in a long time. It was
right.
It was due for a comeback.
Or run down the list. So
or gone down the list.
That's
Absolutely.
right on time, sir. And it's been long enough that even I got a kick out of that. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed myself.
What are the trends you've noticed on Pornhub as of late, Cliff?
What are the what?
So what are the trends you've noticed on Pornhub as of late?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
everything on that site has gotten super polished again. Like it's back to being almost all high production value stuff.
Right.
The new laws are definitely making it harder for amateur porn. Either that or people are
How's that work?
Either that or people are getting way too good at cameras at home.
How's that work?
What do you mean?
Like, if you got to upload your ID to watch a video, what you got to do to put one up there?
You have to
upload one.
You have to maintain record and IDs for everybody that's in the video in order for it to stay up.
And what you got? How do they know? You got to flash them at the beginning of the video, so these motherfuckers got the director's cut. Cut all that shit out. Like, how does that work?
I think in order to upload, you have to separately upload. Basically, not. I'm not going to call it an application, but you have to include like a form with key statistics and a copy of your ID.
Well, it's hella amateur porn that's out of that because a lot of the girls like to lay the hair over their face so they can do it without doing it. And now you got to still give up the ID. Right. So they like, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back to your OnlyFans unless I can wear a ski mask and they don't ask me for who I am.
Well, and it's not like that information is made public or anything, because then, to your point, like OnlyFans and Pornhub wouldn't have anybody on it from a.
But let's be honest, that they leak everything. PlayStation Network was down on the weekend last week. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's her name? Hunger Games girl got her nudes leaked.
But you also
everybody's shit gets leaked.
But you also know that, like, traditionally in Pornhub especially, actually one of the most secure sites on the internet. They are actually like top-notch cybersecurity at Pornhub. Like that is one of the highest paying jobs, period, is working as a developer on Pornhub. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I actually looked into them. Their parent company's like Mindtree or something.
It's always the people behind the scenes making more money than the ones in it.
Oh, no doubt. Especially in that case. Well, but you want that, though, wouldn't you? Like, if you were an amateur star and you went to all that trouble to wear a mask or whatever while you were shooting shit, you would want to make sure that if you had to upload your data that it was safe, right? I'd be all for paying them the most money.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess
so there you go.
Yeah. Guess that makes sense, huh?
All right. Let's transition off of Pornhub. Unless you have anything else to say.
It's just such an interesting topic for me. Like there's endless opportunities for me things to say. I can't think of any. I'm like a kid in the candy store right now. I can just
remember when they were all wearing masks? That was my favorite. With
who was all wearing masks?
Masks with the hole cut out of them. Our first COVID porn updates.
Oh right.
And like the number one search at that point was like sister and stepmom because that was the only people you were seeing.
It had like lockdown was somewhere in the title.
All the titles had lockdown in the video.
Oh shit.
COVID lockdown neighbor.
Oh my gosh.
Came over
That
for
shit is
some
hilarious.
toilet paper and got fucked.
He said mask for hosting him. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I thought you went back to Vermont on me. Or whoever had BDSM. Shit, that is funny, man. Yeah, no, I don't got anything, I don't think.
All right. So the
That
other
was a good one, though.
the other one that came to mind, and mainly because he seems to be the only music artist consistently dropping music for the revolution. Macklemore dropped another song called "Fucked Up," as in "You Got Me Fucked Up." And
it was all right, though. It was.
Did you listen to it?
I did listen to it, and it was all right.
It was all right. I think it was just as good, maybe just as good as Heinz Hall was, the Free Palestine one from earlier, from last year.
I remember we did the show on that, but I don't really remember anything from the song.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this one was more wide. You know, it was more.
It was definitely wider. It was broader. He talks about the oligarchy. He talks about how our money goes over to basically assist with genocide. Like, went pretty raw with it.
And I guess he's with you on your Wolfenstein take. I saw from
the video.
Yeah, you know. So
we know what that was. I think that's the line in the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good move for him because if somebody really wanted to do something to him, nobody knows what he looks like.
He's just generic white guy number 6.
You know what I'm saying? Macklemore is like a male Sia. We don't really know.
Just another general white guy with tats. Like,
we don't really know.
Another tall, skinny white guy with tats. Like,
grew his bangs out.
I think that's half the population of Portland, Oregon. I think that's half the population of that. Yeah. It's definitely half the population of Seattle, so.
I mean, he can spit.
He can, and he's saying something that means something. And I mean, I think that's something that's fucking missing right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that
now,
for sure.
I also appreciated, again, circling back to Kendrick at the Super Bowl, like, his entire show seemed to be kind of setting a message as well.
Yeah, okay, so don't get me wrong. I'm not going back on what I said. I do think that the performance itself was mid.
Yeah.
But when you think about everything that he put into it, like the subliminals involved in it, like I almost get like he's too smart for his own good.
Oh, no doubt. Like the American flag made out of black folks. That was
made out of like the Crips and the Bloods on the streets, right? I just saw this.
Serena Seawalking.
I saw. Well, I feel like that was more of a shot at Drake than it was any cultural.
It was, but
nobody cares about Serena. I don't mean it like that, but Serena's not relevant right now.
But
she standpoint of revolution.
But she got ripped for Seawalking on a tennis court early in her career. Like, she got almost not banned, but like she got reprimanded pretty hard about it. So there was more significance to it than just her being Drake's ex.
Okay.
What else? Uncle Samuel L. Jackson.
Everybody stunting them motherfucking snakes on that motherfucking plane.
Yes, they deserve to die. I hope they burn in hell.
You hear me? I don't know. I thought the wildest was the PlayStation controller, and you know these motherfuckers are so. Listen.
That was the wildest one because that was a shot at Sony, who owns Drake's label, right?
Well, I don't know. Everybody pointed out, and I did watch back to make sure that they were accurate because it was everybody pointing out that if you looked at the buttons that was flashing on the PlayStation,
they were doing God mode, wasn't it?
It was full max armor, max ammo, and GTA and all that. And I said, oh shit! Like again, too You're too smart, because even if I have that code memorized in my head, which I haven't since 2003, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how am I going to recognize that flashing on the stage? Like, it took somebody that probably
basically went frame
was
by
pressing the buttons with his finger, like, wait a minute, that's Max Health and Armor in GTA. I know that, because you don't recognize it the same way seeing it as you would pressing it.
There's one code that I think you
that
would
down, down, left, right,
up,
A,
down,
B,
down,
A,
left,
B,
right,
or whatever.
left, right, BA start. Yep. The Konami code. But that one gets referenced. What was that for? That was any Konami game on the original Nintendo. It would work
for
with
real?
all of them. Yeah.
I remember that. I'll never forget that. But I like
Contra was big with Contra. I think was the first one that had it.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I understand all of that. It just.
So I put Kendrick up there. Honestly, the other person who's dropped a few songs kind of in that same vein is Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
One of the OGs. I mean, he's got a song called fucking Arrest the President, dude. Where he flat out says, arrest the president, arrest the president. That is Russian intelligence.
I wouldn't have known. So, I guess I'm not checking for no Ice Cube music.
No, but it's popped up in a couple of places for me, so I got it. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that it's not a good song or that I wouldn't be a fan of it. I'm just like,
you're not aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not aware, nor would I immediately choose to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's like Ice-T putting out another song. Like, once you switch over into the acting veil and you've been there for so long, I don't give a fuck to hear you come back.
Yeah, I think
you've been there for decades, G. It ain't like you just took a little 5-year, 10-year stint.
But I feel like he drops a song, or I don't know about a full album, but he definitely drops a song like every 5 years or so.
Does he?
Because he did, this was probably... It might be 15 years ago, maybe, but the whole gangster rap made me do it.
I never knew that. Nothing about that.
Yeah, he's got Dre on that track, and it's basically like taking a shot at the point in time where people were back to blaming like Eminem for mass shootings and shit, or whoever, and his whole track was gangster rap made me do it. That's another one.
So it was what? Like satire?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say like another semi-political message. Like, I don't know that it would be satire, but satire might fit depending on, I'd have to go back and listen to it, but
okay.
But I'm trying to think what other I mean, there is no punk anymore. Punk used to be known for, that kind of,
right,
no pun intended, Rage Against the Machine music.
That's the first group that popped into my head too. Although I wouldn't quite consider them punk.
Punk, alternative, like, but to your point, I hear kind of what you're saying.
I feel like Rage Against the Machines was more venturing into hardcore rock.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You got the wrong guy, really. I'm not the good historian for that, but right. I understand what you're saying there.
I mean, here's another one that we talked about on the show previously when it hit big. Anthony Oliver. Although I don't know that he's ever put out another song. Not that big anyways. I mean, he's done shit, but nothing that was that powerful. Well, I think they paid him is what happened.
That's what I mean. I don't mean like they killed him. He wasn't important enough to kill, but they definitely silenced him.
Yeah. Working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Listen.
I'm trying to think what else would kind of fall into that. I mean,
like
honestly,
now,
like revolutionary music, yeah.
I don't think we
Not
have
that
any.
the music is revolutionary, but like the message is about revolution.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't think
we
we
gonna
have
have
any.
we gonna put together a revolution music playlist, and it's gonna be all Macklemore songs. What's the
Nah, we
soundtrack?
can't. I don't
What's
know.
the
I don't
soundtrack
think
to the revolution, Cliff?
Macklemore is a very talented individual, but I don't think we win bumping that soundtrack into the
No, I hear you.
revolution.
I think Not Like Us actually works, even though it's a diss track against Drake. I think it works on a broader level. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's by design that you don't see those.
Right. They're keeping it out of our reach.
Right, because you got to think like.
Well, I mean, even Macklemore has had trouble getting his shit heard. Like,
but Macklemore has money.
He does. Well,
Macklemore had success on Broadway as well as in the music industry, where you look at a guy like Anthony Oliver, and that was just a song that blew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you could even look it up on iTunes when they were passing the clip around.
Yeah. Well, but
that
I mean,
blew because people heard it.
But that's what I'm saying about Heinz Hall and about the fucked up. Like both of those. I mean,
if you're gonna do shit like that, you gotta do it independently.
Apple refused to air it at first. They refused to put it in the Apple Music store.
That goes to show what I'm saying is true. Like, you're not gonna get a whole lot of revolution music because the people that are in power of all the music that comes out don't want a revolution.
You're right.
Now, if a song blows up so big that they have no choice, like an Anthony Oliver,
yeah, because they want their slice of the pie at that point.
Right. Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
But they ain't gonna just come out and you gonna have a revolution channel on Spotify anytime soon.
Right.
It's still gonna be years before you really catch people like making music. Like, this isn't gonna be like World War II era music.
Yeah.
That was back when record labels were even more independent. They weren't controlled by all the people at the top to where we're getting the same things out of every label.
I feel like Ray Charles might disagree with you.
I mean, you still have the politics of the label for sure, but not like today. Today, they know what type of artist that they want.
Yeah.
And it's to the detriment of the people in a sense, because a lot of the music that they pushing is to keep a motherfucker in the same situation. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Completely agree with that.
They want your kids on drugs. They want your kids playing gangster and killing each other. They want all that shit happening. So they're going to keep pushing music that kids like, that promote that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
But you don't hear no songs about like this isn't like the I was trying to use a name. The Disney era, like the kids is singing about schoolwork and ABCs and shit like this. Ain't that.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get your old school Hannah Montanas or this ain't that. So it's going to be few and far between when you can find songs like that. And a lot of times when you do find songs like that, you realize it's a hidden message because they had to disguise what it is they were trying to get out. No different from the Kendrick Lamar halftime show.
Right.
I think if I'm being honest, the reason why I say it's mid, like I'm saying it like that, is because I bet that there was a lot of stuff in that show that he wouldn't have been able to get away with if he was doing it at dress rehearsal.
If he had been blatant about it.
Right. If he was practicing it that way, they'd be like, oh, whoa. You can't do all that.
Right.
So it probably had to come together in real time, and we'll just use what we rehearsed. I'll try to make sure I hit all the parts I wanted to hit that I didn't tell him about, and we'll make it that way. So I could be, being a little hard on the performance itself when you think about all of the...
I mean, the other supercut I saw of that performance that I thought was just fucking genius is that he avoids looking at the camera until he says, "Hey, Drake."
Is that right?
That's what the supercut I saw showed it.
That could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. That probably wouldn't be like the number one thing I would notice either. Like, what does that represent actually?
Well, that's what he was delivering a message. That's some nail in the coffin type shit. Like, bitch, I'm at the Super Bowl. Telling everybody about you.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else, if there's anything, any other, songs or anything else like that has popped lately. I mean,
well, it wouldn't be like it popped so much as
it's
it
riding
would be
under the radar,
breaking out. Right, it's starting to break through.
Yeah,
because they're not gonna let it just pop.
Yeah. Honestly, the number one song on my TikTok timeline right now is them basically turning Star Wars Revenge of the Sith into a metal song. So
you speaking another language again, but I know that's some nerd shit.
It is very nerdy shit, and it's amazing. They got me distracted.
It's crazy how, when different shit touches different people. Like, you talking about songs that lead into the revolution. Shit, put on some Star Wars shit for these nerds, and I bet you'll have half of them pretending they got lightsabers running into a fight.
I mean, there are a lot of... There's one speech in particular that I think very much resonates, and it's basically... Someone did like a supercut putting Donald Trump's inauguration speech like back to back with Emperor Palpatine when he formed the Empire. That one was pretty solid.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
And there's been a lot of...
Is that the dude that wears the black cloak, the extra pale dude?
Yep. And then there's been a couple of other great photos put kind of side by side with, like, from Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. There's probably a couple other ones with, like, Elon and Trump basically looking like he's Elon's bitch in that fucking press conference that they did from the Oval Office.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. Nor do I really care.
No, I hear you. But
I really don't care.
I think, honestly, that's the biggest way to get under Trump's skin. Like, you're not in charge. Elon is. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're right there.
Like, because that's what it looks like.
I'm sure you're right there. I'm telling you, somebody gonna cut Elon and you gonna see circuits under his skin, and everybody gonna be like, "Oh, I get it now."
Or scales, one of the two.
Could it be scales?
I mean, he looks.
I suppose it could.
He looks kind of alienish to begin with, so.
He's definitely odd. Now, there's only so much you can blame on, like, spectrum stuff. He's just odd. Yeah. Like, where is the line at, right? Where's the line at where it's like autistic to objectively odd? Because you can be autistic and you're like, I mean, he's dealing with something, right? But like, my nigga is objectively odd.
You are not wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a question. He's objectively odd. Like, that's an odd dude right there. And by no means do I want to make light of or make fun of anybody that may be on that spectrum, but one must admit is objectively odd. Facts. It just doesn't make sense. And if you say no at the fear of offending someone or something like that, then you're a part of the fucking problem. Right there. You're a part of the problem.
Absolutely. All right. I don't know. What else we got?
What else? I feel like you added something else to the title, didn't you?
No, it was Macklemore and Revolution music.
I thought it had something else on there. Damn. Then was that the text messages then?
That's what I believe. So
Oh, you was talking about the asteroid coming for us.
oh, that was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you think? Although I don't know. See, conspiracy nuts have gone haywire because they were like, no, it's not that one. There's another one. But I saw the one, and the only one I could find valid sources on is the same one you saw, which is like a 1/42nd of a chance.
But it's dropping rapidly, and they say it's currently 7 years out. So by the time it gets to 1 year out, they said we could be down to like 1 in 3, 1 in 2 type shit.
Yeah. Well, and it's something that is going to circle the sun and come back, right?
I don't know.
See,
I don't know, but they said
that's
that
why
they seen.
that's why I think it's 7.5 years, because I think what they're really curious about is basically when it slingshots the sun and comes back.
Right.
As to we won't
But they
know
said
the
it's
course
been
for
diverting
sure.
its own path.
Interesting.
Like it's been moving, it's been changing directions itself. So even if that happens, how you know that the motherfucker don't slingshot and then veer off somewhere else? Like,
Right.
How do we know it's an asteroid?
Fair. I mean, that seems like the perfect way to invade, doesn't it? Disguise
I mean,
it
right?
as
You
an
know what I'm
asteroid.
saying? Like, but is it an invasion if you're quote unquote already here?
Right. Well, it
Like,
may
does
not
that
be-
mean?
That's making the assumption that it's the same people that are already here.
See, this is where you get into a deep conversation, and let's be honest, a lot of white folks ain't ready for it because you still trying to claim that certain people don't belong in certain, you know what I'm saying? But if aliens have been here first and we have been the illegals, so to speak, that have been there since, and another group of aliens are coming in, then are we all earthlings?
At that point,
You feel what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because I would think regardless of on what,
Unless it's backup for them.
I don't think that they could have backup for. Well, no, I don't mean it like that. I guess what I'm getting at is I'm a firm believer that the reason why they decided to stop exploring the ocean and go to outer space was because they found something there.
Yeah.
Whether it be a community, a colony, a base, a camp, or something that they were like, ooh, didn't know y'all motherfuckers was down here. We'll leave y'all alone. Y'all do what y'all do type shit. If y'all already got that in the ocean, and we know the ocean is 75% of the entire planet, I would imagine you don't need backup coming from out of there.
Right.
You got enough backup down there that whoever's coming from out of there isn't a part of you.
Right. Fair.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So while everybody's like an alien threat would be the only thing we could think of that would bring humanity together, well, at this point, fuck humanity. Let's bring together everyone that lives on this rock.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But another point, and you know, I don't mean to bring race into it, but if a motherfucker can study you from below the ocean and they see that it's been this long for you to accept motherfuckers that are darker than you,
Right.
why would they ever think that I would come up to fight for you to help you? Because you can't even accept the motherfuckers that look like you. Do I think it's ever going to come a time where you can accept me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you.
At that point, I just feel like you got to prepare your ships for evacuation mode. Like if whoever they hit Earth with something hard enough to really, we got to take off at that point.
Well, you've heard that that's the reason why you've seen an increase of sightings in the ocean, right?
That would make sense.
It's not that they're coming here; it's that they're getting the fuck out
Right. That would make sense.
because they think we're about to destroy ourselves.
That would make sense. Because why would I stay? I'm not staying and then to fight for you bastards.
Y'all
You know
can't
what
even
I'm
get
saying?
along with each other, let alone us.
That just don't make sense, especially if you were there first. That would be like the Native Americans, like, you know, going down under the water and like, yeah, y'all took our land and shit, but we'll help y'all fend it off so y'all can keep it for longer in the future. Nah, that don't work that way. You already took it. I'm not about to help you get it. Keep it.
It's
If
fair.
we can't have it, should nobody have it? That's how I'm sure they feeling. So, Indians, evacuate.
Well, it's interesting you took it to the alien route because there has been more UAP news as of late.
Oh Lord.
They are putting together another committee.
I'm so sick.
That is actually, so this one isn't just UAP though. It's actually the committee that's supposedly responsible for how we're declassifying all the shit that Trump said to declassify. So, Robert Kennedy, JFK, Martin Luther King.
These motherfuckers are going to gerbil bottle water feed y'all information.
No doubt.
Like it's not like it's crazy because like motherfuckers
it really
get
was
excited
Lee Harvey Oswald.
They're declassifying shit. We're gonna find out, and they're like, "Well, we're going." Don't tell them any. Remember, tell them about the committee coming up in 3 months. That's
right.
when it'll be released. Then the committee comes around, and we're sitting there watching it, and we're like, "What the fuck are you saying? Like, you didn't tell us anything." And then the next thing you know, at the end of that committee, you say, "Well, tune in to the next episode 3 months later when we have another committee." You may get more information.
You're not wrong.
Like they're doing the to be continued to us.
Oh, no doubt.
We find out if America truly has an alien, and tune in next
week.
Right? And motherfuckers keep falling for it. Like this whole shit is just wild to me, for real. It's just wild to watch.
I think
because whatever it is, but just distract them.
Well, yeah, and I think that. Again, I come back to, let's say we have reverse engineered. Great. When do we get the technology on the unlimited energy required to run that kind of shit? Solve the energy crisis now.
Never. We never would.
Right.
We never would, because even if they had the capability to do it, even if they had the funding to start implementing it, there would always be a dumb area where you kept all of the people that would continue to have to pay to access the energy that they've. You've already done it. You've already proved to them that you're willing to pay absorbent amounts of money to keep up and have your electricity, water, gas, and all shit that you shouldn't even be paying. Trust and believe they are never going to go to something they can't make money from.
No doubt. Well,
even
and I think
that
that's another major crisis in America right now.
Energy.
And I'm seeing it from, like family members in New York State that have small businesses and their fucking gas bill is running, $1,600 a month. And that's all due to energy deregulation. And it's going to get worse under Trump because he wants to deregulate everything. You know what that means? That means energy costs will continue to go up for everyday Americans. And I tell you what, my fucking gas bill was 5 times what it was last year. And I'm somebody that keeps on top of it. Like, I change providers every year and a half because to lock in a lower rate, basically. And
not providers, you change the
whoever the intermediary is.
Right. The people that we got contract to provide you with this because it's all Columbia. You can't get it from anybody but Columbia.
Right. But meanwhile, like, it will go from, I don't know, $4 a kilowatt hour to fucking $60 a kilowatt hour after.
I say let them.
You say that, and then you have to pay the bill.
No, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But people are getting closer and closer daily to that breaking point.
Yeah.
Water is boiling over the top. So keep raising it. Keep raising it. And it's going to get real ugly real quick. I'm trying to tell you. Or you're going to see motherfuckers in the wintertime like, cancel that shit. Take that shit off of my shit altogether.
I will burn.
You know what I'm saying?
We will be back to wood-burning stoves.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. You're going to start seeing people install shit that they can control themselves in their homes. And I don't want gas at all.
I mean, I tell you what, I've got, as part of the preparedness stuff, I bought a propane heater. One that runs off of a little propane tank.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Burns clean. I've fired it up a couple times just to make sure it works.
And I'm sure it does, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't want anything that once shit runs out, I can't use anymore.
Well, I also have a small, like, portable wood burning stove too, but
right. I know exactly what you're talking about too. I mean, who needs a stove, a wood burning stove though?
I mean,
like all you really need is a couple rocks and some wood.
No doubt.
And concrete. You could cook up a meal in your basement if you had to. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
Burn a couple. They say 3 candles. You get 3 8-hour candles. That'll burn hella pots of water. Boil hella pots of water. So you could just keep replacing the pot, boiling, using whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's certainly enough wood and furniture and stuff to be able to keep it going for a while.
Right. And that's without having to go outside. And we all know that there's still trees.
Right.
There's still going to be brush. There's still going to be twigs.
Well, that's also why part of the go bag also has one, I have a battery operated chainsaw, which can be plugged into one of my battery packs or generators. Uh-huh. And then I also have a handheld chainsaw. It's basically
that's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need. And I'm not no dumb nigga anyway. I know what the fuck's going on here. I've been saying blackout now for so long that now that it's actually, I got shit I don't need.
Right.
I probably need it all, right? But I've been buying for a while, the little $35 boxes of firewood that you can get off of Amazon and just stacking them up.
Yeah.
I got a fireplace. I don't gotta worry about that.
No doubt. Well, and to that same end, I have a ton of backup batteries, basically, that are also solar panel enabled. That if I hook them in that way, I can get.
I got a couple of those. I need to get more because I don't have enough.
My tax return and whatever I end up with, if I end up with any semblance of a bonus this year, is going to an actual generator as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but listen, fuck the asteroid. Fuck the asteroid. Motherfuckers worry about 7 years. Let's focus on what we got going on here currently, because it's only been 7 weeks. It's only been 7 weeks and we are already in where we're in currently.
Yep.
Hella plane crashes, hella fucking natural disasters, hell, whatever you name it.
It's funny that you bring up the plane thing. I actually, for the first time since maybe the first time I flew, I was nervous getting on an airplane.
For
real? not debilitatingly so, but there was a little bit of palpitations about it.
Going to Minnesota was the same way for me. You know, I've only been on a plane a few times in my life, and I'm thinking to myself, all this shit going on right now, and we flying.
That's fair, man.
So I understand it completely. But they also said that that's the first thing that they attack when they want non-movement from the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they want to trap you into the country, the first thing that they attack is your ability to travel outside. If we put enough fear into people that they don't want to fly anymore, they can never leave these, 4 country walls.
Right.
So I just feel like that's the initiation of their plan. You know what I'm saying? They just initiated their plan.
No doubt.
Right, especially it's working according to plan because everybody's going up in arms about it.
And we had,
but my idea was, if you got the money, get a little crop seeding plane and get your pilot's license, because you're gonna need something. And you can't trust air traffic control. Fuck them. Listen, ain't nobody shooting you out the sky if everything's gone to shit.
Right.
But we all seen what happened to Kobe, so I don't trust the helicopter.
No.
Especially when you think about the way these motherfuckers now can manipulate weather, and you think they can't produce a gust of wind to blow that low ass chopper up. You crazy as shit, Joe.
Keep to the ground.
Listen, it gotta be the ground.
I got my tarp device plugged into my car. Thank you.
So you can't get EMF'd?
Yep.
I mean, that's smart.
Now, whether or not it actually works, I have no idea until it happens.
We'll never know. And I guarantee you the kind of EMF that they would hit us with, I doubt that they have anything on the market that could protect from that.
Yeah, probably not.
So the next question is, how do you get around?
You don't. You hunker down.
I mean, you got to hunker down for a while, but if you stay too long, you die.
I mean, I have...
Depending on the situation, of course. Depending on the situation.
Have a bicycle.
I mean, you may... But see, and even that's kind of crazy, right? Because I feel like you need...
Like, the shelter of it, almost.
Right. You need something to... Because let's be honest, right? If you're riding with an e-bike, first of all, you have to have it rigged like a chariot almost, like two bikes in the front pulling the load in the back, whether the load be your family and your valuables. You can't just do it with the bike. There's no way to pack in everything that you're going to need to survive.
Yeah.
So you would have to have something built around those two bikes that would be able to pull that load as well as your family. So bikes aren't going to work either. And then you think about if one biker goes down, you're spinning in circles now.
Well, that's where I'm saying, like, it's walk.
But the only thing about walk is you got to hope that you find
shelter and you know where your next
shelter,
stop is.
Food, you can't travel with none of that. You know what I'm saying? You can't travel with shelter, food, and fire. You got to find that as you go.
Yeah.
And then when the shit really hits the fan and everybody's starving to survive, that fire is a tell that it's opportunity. They may have food.
Right.
You know, at that point, you will have moths to a flame, and they won't have wings, and you won't have to just worry about them ruining your evening flying around your lights. No, these people are going to be hungry, willing to kill.
Right. Well, and that's where, to your point, like, knowing your points of shelter. I mean,
that's what it comes down to. And you got to think about something that that's not
clear a house and be confident that you cleared it.
Those are the only options. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that a lot of people are going to be prepared for, or going to be ready for the level of.
Here's the flip side is that the United States is very hard to subjugate. And what I mean by that is we are too big of a geographic area to effectively lock down.
Right. I understand what you're saying. From anybody, really.
Right. Even our own.
Even if that's what I was about to say. Even if it's the United States, because you still have the Canadian border, the Mexican border, the oceans. You have different ways that you can get places. But again, then it comes down to what devices are you using to effectively get to those places.
Completely agree. Well,
because if it's an EMF situation, your electric car, your gas car, your boats, them ain't working, G.
Yeah, but boats I have a different feeling on, because boats you can always devise a secondary
as
mode.
like a sail, put up a sail
or oars or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, where we're at, like the bodies of water closest to us is rivers, which is flowing water anyways. So you just float on down. And the Ohio connects with the Mississippi at some point.
Right.
Just take your ass down to Mexico.
Nigga, you know how long that fucking cruise trip's gonna take you?
All you gotta do is dip in the water, get some crawdads, get some fish.
You have to have makeshift or real. It would have to be makeshift, to be honest, because you ain't gonna be able to fit no real fishing pole into your bug out gear unless it's like a breakaway, mini joint. Like,
well, it's like the same kind of like stuff that you would use on a tent. Basically, flexible aluminum. Just stick it together in 4 different pieces or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I guess that's not that would be the last thing that I would care to have.
No doubt.
Because give me the hooks. Fish. Give me the hooks and the line. Fuck the pole. I can make a fishing
line.
Yeah. And I can reel it in with my hands. I'm not worried about your pole. I just need the line and the hooks.
Just give me a net, man.
That's ideal.
Be stripping out
Get an arrow.
The mesh along the windows.
Shit, an arrow, all you gotta do is fashion your fishing wire through the back end of an arrow and just pull it back. Because I was thinking immediately, shit, you could shoot a fish, but you also giving up your location. And they like, if they shooting, that's one of two things. Either they're fending off something or they found something.
Right.
And a hungry person is willing to take the gamble.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's why I'm a bigger fan of hunkering down for as long as possible. And then assessing to see if transportation is still a thing.
Right.
Because, again, to my point around the U.S. is too big to subjugate, I don't know, like, how many... Even if you targeted every major city, and consider Columbus a top 15 or top 20 target in terms of population in the city. Right.
They could be higher than that in terms of population.
Right. So call it, top 25. EMF.
I'm sorry. I meant lower than that just because, we're small in sense, but the amount of people here.
But it's also... Columbus is unlike a lot of other major cities that are constrained by geography. Like, Columbus is flat and has no natural boundaries. That's part of the reason why Columbus, from a surface area perspective, is a super big fucking city.
Right.
Because it's not bound by rivers or mountains or anything.
Right.
So I don't know that you could effectively target Columbus without dropping a handful of whatever.
Right.
Or a significant ordinance. And is there anything worth attacking here other
than...
you would have to think of, there would be havens, of course. Texas will always be a haven just because of how they're built. They think they're their own country already, heavy on guns and, protecting yourself. So people would go there just because I know Texas has enough people that it can defend itself. There are going to be certain places that they're just not going to go. Yeah.
Columbus could be one of them. They may go to a part, you know what I'm saying? They may get like a Groveport or a Upper Arlington and try to venture out until they run into a wall. Like, nah, these can't do it here.
What I think they would do is they would start on the coast and try to box you in.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd have to hit both coasts at the same time, and both coasts are not exactly small areas to cover either.
And it's too many, like Columbus is too many people, right? Like it's just too many people at the end of the day. So you can try to do that coast shit until all of them start flooded to that one side of the coast and you have no choice but to abandon ship.
Yeah.
Whether half of them have guns or a quarter of them do, I got to get out of here. It's too many people coming angry, hungry, wanting a way out.
Yep.
It would be too tough to do. Certain places they're just not going to do that to because it's too dangerous. It's too much of a risk. That's why you see all the fires happening on the West Coast because for decades now they've been softening up the West Coast to every agenda that they have to the point that who better would be to start the experiment with.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers they're for everybody. You know what I'm saying? They're for everything. They're doing their best to make sure no one's uncomfortable. Those aren't the best places when you think about a defense. Defense would be we never had an issue making anybody uncomfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I want to be.
Right.
Because the people who don't worry about making somebody uncomfortable usually have something to combat a reaction.
Yeah.
California is not one of those places, especially when you consider your gun laws. Your AR clips or magazines can only have 10 rounds in them. What are you doing with that?
Right.
You can't fight a war with a 10-round magazine.
Right.
Unless you're a sure shot. You better not miss any of those shots. But then you get into the South and the East, not necessarily the East, because, a lot of them places are tight too, but Midwest and the South where like regulations don't matter. And even if I can't own a 100-round drum, We're still gonna sell them.
Right. It's illegal to own, but not to sell.
Right. You just can't come out the house with it. Now you can keep your 100-round drum in the house.
Right.
But that's where I need it. I don't need a 100-round drum out there.
Right.
I need it here. Out there, I'm good with a 30. If I'm in an issue where I can't have a 30-round magazine with a couple magazines to spare, you wasn't coming back from that anyway, bruh. That was the end of you regardless. So, a lot of places they've been geared to take over is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
A lot of them, ironically, are out west. That's why Texas goes so hard, because they have to hold the line.
Yeah.
It does not go beyond Texas. You're not going to move that soft pussy shit into where we're at. And we don't operate that way.
And that's even why in, that movie Civil War, the country was split into thirds, basically.
Right.
It wasn't just two factions. It was
right. It would be. And I guarantee you all the smart people from the Midwest would, first place they go would be South.
Yeah.
All the smart people that are capable of moving, that have the firepower, they're going south, because I'd rather you either bomb me and just get me the fuck up out of there and have an actual front that I can defend, than be vulnerable from all angles.
Right.
If you're going to do it, take me out, but you're damn sure not going to force your way through this line.
I mean, is that the first move, though? Like, I hear you saying south.
I mean, the first move, of course...
Canadian border is only 2 hours north, bro.
See, that I feel like that's where you lose a lot of the... I feel like that's where... Okay, so here's my analogy for that. Do you want to escape? Or do you want to fight?
Yeah.
Now, escaping to Canada isn't going to do you any good, because we know Canada is our little brothers. Chances are, if we have something coming down the pipeline, they've already been working on following the same.
I mean, they've been talking about,
going to war.
Trump talks about Canada becoming the 51st state, and they've flat out said we'll go to war before that happens.
Right. But what does that mean?
It means that...
What does that mean for Canada?
It means Canada is still part of the British Empire. So they still have NATO support. They still have, European support.
So maybe we should go to war. For entertainment purposes only. Maybe that would be the best move, right? Because I would imagine if Canada declares war on you as the United States, knowing that they're backed by Europe, fuck Europe.
Well, we pretty much said that.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all are going to allow these people to go to war with us,
but
even though...
Here's the flip side. Canada won't be the aggressor.
Right, we know that.
Canada is not going to go to war with us. We would do something to make that happen.
But you can rest assured, if Canada announces they are going to war with us, they have no choice but to be the aggressor. You don't have a choice at that point, because if you say it's war, nigga, we're 3.5 hours away from Canada. Trump stays in New York. He's a hell of a lot closer. If you say war, we will have boots on the ground before you know it. It would not be the same vice versa. No matter how you try to cut it. What war has Canada ever fought? They barely helped out in World War II. You're not equipped to go to war.
That's fair.
Unless you just want to bomb shit. And if you bomb us, you bomb you. So it's really it's a mute point. Like, nobody's worried about you saying you going to war. That's a backyard, you know what I'm saying? That's like war in your household. You have nowhere to be safe, sir. There is nowhere you can go to be safe.
The problem is that if that were to happen, we end up fighting a war on at least 3 fronts.
Oh, and that's another thing. Maybe that's the best, right? Because like I said, for all of time, again, for entertainment purposes only, in order for the have-nots to win the war, has to be guerrilla warfare. We don't win without guerrilla warfare. Now, we're not Vietnam. We can't dig tunnels and do it that way. So the only way that you can really disguise yourself is in the guise that they're worried about someone bigger.
Yeah.
So if they're worried about a Canada, or it is World War III, the only way you truly get to the people you need to get to is if you disguise, move under those realms. Yeah, United States is expecting a bombing tonight from Canada coming from the north end. Well, if you bring a couple people from the south end that are in the country already, you might be able to get some people up out of there.
Well, and it's the West Coast with China.
What you mean? Say more.
I mean, that's the shortest path for China is across the Pacific.
Right.
What I'm saying is if we get involved in something and they choose then to attack, which would make sense, it would be strategic for them. There you go. Boxed in on the north, south, and west. And we've pissed off all of our allies to the east. So,
but see, that's another thing that they do to manipulate us as Americans.
What's that?
They know that us having our guns is their contingency plan.
Yeah.
Because the regular person ain't gonna just let you invade. Like, yeah, I'm too scared to go to war. But trust and believe, if there's a threat at my front door in my neighborhood, I have no choice but to engage. If I want to defend my family, I have to engage. They don't know how many people are willing to actually engage. And for so many years that we perpetuated that we're the tough guys out there, everybody's going to engage. That's what makes other countries feel like they do got all the guns. I don't know if it's smart just to be walking through neighborhoods.
They may have the number 40 education, but they've got a lot of guns per capita.
Have number 1 in guns. We can't just march down through neighborhoods thinking we're going to be safe. That's what every country's thinking. And I would like to believe that's the truth. But the guy in me that's seen the way the country's been going for this long say, we won't have a quarter of people actually using what they bought.
Yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers just bought guns to own guns because they like them.
Yeah.
It's a fun hobby to go to the gun range. But let's be honest, they weren't created as a hobby.
Right.
They were created as a defense mechanism.
Well-armed and regulated militia.
You hear me? So I don't know what the fuck happens, but I know that it's gonna get very interesting before we even hit the end of the year.
I think it's possible. I think we've said that before, though. So.
But what can you do? I'm damn sure ain't about to be scared
or worried about it, right? You
well,
keep living.
How about this? If the world's coming to an end in 7 years, then call me retired right now. Right this moment. You know what I'm saying? You can do that.
No doubt. All right, man. You got anything else? That was an unexpected tangent.
Just because it needs to be said.
Yeah, like every 6th episode.
Right, but every 6th episode, it's ironic that we come back to a standpoint where it's like, are we going to have to defend ourselves?
Well, and it's, I enjoy this stuff about being prepared and the, bug out bag and...
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Can you defend your little lot if you need to?
Right. And the thing is that they're gambling that you won't.
Right.
They're gambling that you won't get ready. They're gambling that you won't be able to do nothing when they... so you might as well be ready.
I just like my vantage point sitting over the freeway so I can see, all right, are the freeways clear? Cool, let's roll.
I already told you. If I was you, I would have already had bolt cutters. Every time they come by with them long, I would have cut it already. I'd have cut that fence already. And every time the city comes by, they'd have had to put a camera up to see who the fuck keeps cutting this fence to this freeway. Every time you put a new fence in. It'll be 3 a.m.
That slope down is steep. That slope down is steep, but it's not that.
It is.
It's not that.
It is steep, but you can still make it.
It's not a straight drop. You could definitely walk to it, and I'm 98% sure you could get a car down it.
Right. Life or death, you have no choice, sir. You
Right.
got to get a car down it.
Right.
Excuse me. But, love everybody, all that nonsense. I will say get ready, Get ready, because if there has ever come a year that you would need to be ready, have a plan, whatever the case may be, we entered that time a while ago. Now we're here.
We're at we are boiling. It's just a matter of when it boils over.
Right. Now we're here. So, stay safe, stay dangerous. Don't be scared to fuck shit up.
And with that, do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell an enemy. Tell them to troll, and troll Cliff on TikTok in particular. All our socials.
I probably wouldn't catch it for 7 days,
right.
but
all our socials at Foolproof Net. And with all that, peace out, fools.